Are you in love, or you're probably looking for a suitable life partner, a good wife, or you're asking yourself, is this the right person to get married to? What are the deal makers and deal breakers when you're looking for a suitable life partner? Does marriage really work in the 21st century? Are all men control freaks and just after cheap sex? Or are all women just after your pocket, a cool affair? Stick around as you unlock keys, truths, and principles that will propel you in the area of love, courtship, and marriage. Do not just survive it, thrive in it. This is Kingdom Courtship, and I'm your host, Kelly Munala. God bless you. Shalom. Good evening, guys. I'm Kelly Munala, the author of the book Kingdom Courtship. Today we're going to do the first chapter of our book. And the very first topic is the ripple effect. Introduction to Kingdom Courtship. The book begins by giving a story that I experienced firsthand. It was one day early in the morning as I was heading for a morning devotion service, and I happened to bump into this young mother carrying one child in her back and another school-going boy just in front of her. Suddenly, a speeding motorcyclist appeared from nowhere. While the little boy was focusing on catching the school bus, the motorcyclist was not paying attention as he rode. It seems as if the motorcycle will hit the boy. With the impending danger just about to unfold before our eyes, I yelled at the motorcyclist. The young lady tried to get her boy's attention with a loud shout, "Watch out!" The incident happened in a flash of a second. Fortunately, the boy had a miraculous halt, and the high-speed motorcycle quickly moved past the already hypnotized boy, missing him by less than an inch. You could tell that the wheels had brushed on his toenails. After such a thrilling and a heart-popping occurrence, almost everyone around had drops of sweat, despite the early morning chill of the cold Nyahururu town. There was a unison sigh of relief, and everyone was grateful that God had miraculously snatched the boy from the claws of hell. While the unfolding event terrified the boy and his mother was full of rage, approached him from behind, yelling curses and rebukes at him. "What's wrong with you? You are always careless." She aggressively dragged the helpless boy towards the already full school bus. While this looked like the usual reaction of a traditional African mother, I wondered why her first response was rebuke instead of gratitude to God that her son was safe. As I strolled to church, I asked myself, what will happen to the boy's attitude and self-image when he gets to school? Assuming that he is a 5th grade boy and there is a boy in a 3rd grade that mistakenly steps on his shoes, what do you expect his reaction will be to the younger boy? Do you expect a simple apology from the younger boy and then the older boy will bury the hatchet? Certainly not. He would likely pass on his mother's harsh reaction to the younger boy. And the vicious cycle will probably go on and on from one person to another, and eventually the entire school will yield to a culture of pain and forgiveness, harshness towards one another. The great take home of this story is, things do not just happen to us, things happen through us. The ripple effect. Definition: the continuing and spreading result of an event or action, which is commonly witnessed when there is a waveline in the ocean that causes a formation of another waveline with a similar or great intensity and magnitude. In relation to the above story, we can see that the young school-going boy would act or react harshly to another just because he has received the same intensity or magnitude from his parent, allowing a negative energy to pass from his mother to him and also to others in the school. Getting angry and mad at others because you have been offended by another is allowing yourself to be a vessel that transmits what it has received, rather than evaluate it first whether it is worth to be passed on. Unfortunately, this is one of the most key occurrences that happens in love, courtship, and marriage. We tend to engage to our next lover while we have not completely healed from the previous lover, carrying forward what we call the love brought forward from relationship A to relationship B, and therefore treating the character in relationship B as if is the character in relationship A, and mostly the negative things. We therefore need to ensure that we rid ourselves of every past thing, past relationship that will hinder us from thriving in our next level. Most people hurt others because they are also hurt. Do not be a carrier of a negative ripple effect. Sadly, this is what happens in our lives, and this is what is experienced largely in everything that we do. And even we copy it, not just from people that we love, but mostly from people that we also see, our models, our parents. For instance, if they had a toxic marriage, a drunkard father that physically abused your mother, a mother that had several children from different men, a father that had many wives, and the negative list goes on and on. Without being intentional and introducing proper kingdom courtship truth, we often find ourselves reliving our past failures, the negative ripple effect. We can either be channels of a good ripple effect or a bad one. We can also decide to put on to an end every negative ripple. If you sow a seed of pain, expect to reap a harvest of pain. If you sow love, joy, and kindness, expect to reap the same. If one person can transmit pain, shame, distress to another, then you can transmit goodness, kindness, love, care, and respect. This will produce life in our society. It is the power of ripple effect. Are you a victim of ripple effect? Or are you a person that takes charge of the steering wheel of his or her life? We can decide to take hold of our lives rather than allowing ourselves to be victims of circumstances. Instead of sitting back and hoping miraculously somebody good will come out of nowhere without the involvement of the necessary truths, we will lead to a life of frustration and disappointment. The law of victims says you can't be a victim if you do not relinquish your power to somebody capable of making you a victim. Yes, things can happen to us, things that we never subscribed for, but you can choose to remain in charge of your feelings and how you respond on the same. People fail largely in the area of relationship because of ignorance, because of a wrong ripple effect, because of an erroneous paradigm. Marriage does not thrive because of love. Marriage thrives because of understanding. Key take home 1. Take responsibility of your destiny. God's greatest disappointment with Adam was not just because he ate the fruit in the Garden of Eden, but it was because of his inability to accept responsibility. Genesis chapter number 3, verse number 11 to 13, NIV. And he said, "Who told you that you are naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" The man said, "The woman you put here with me, she gave me some fruit from the tree and I ate it." Then the Lord said to the woman, "What is this you have done?" The woman said, "The serpent deceived me and I ate." We can decide to take responsibility, avoid blame game, not justifying our personal dysfunction, and never complaining. In this life, you'll find yourselves in battles that you never chose for yourself. Everything that happened to you is as a result of a negative ripple effect that you never subscribed to. If not careful, will not just be victim of somebody else's bad day, but you can actually find yourself being an evangelist of a negative vibe. The instinct of every man is to shift responsibility and justify his actions. However, you can decide to take full responsibility of your action by accepting things are the way they are because you made them that way. You can bring the negative cycle to a halt and become an agent of hope, change, and a positive vibe. Taking responsibility is one of the fundamental steps in bringing change and transformation into your lives. We can fight this and choose to reshape our destinies and the people around us by being a source of good energy, ignoring and bringing to a halt every bad energy. Take 2. Make a decision to pursue understanding. Do not just be a victim of the wave, but you can control and determine the pace of the wave. To thrive in courtship and marriage, start by taking responsibility, pursuing understanding, and applying wisdom. This will make you an agent of a positive ripple effect rather than a negative one. Remember, there are no indecisions in life. Pursuing solution is a decision. Not doing so is also a decision. You are at the right path of being an excellent agent of change to the world. Like Jim Rohn puts it, understanding self-worth is the beginning of progress. You can control and determine your life outcome as far as love, courtship, and marriage is concerned. A thriving love, courtship, and marriage is what happens when we develop our understanding and have enlightenment of the same. Points to ponder. Point 1. Things do not just happen to us, they happen through us. Point 2. Everything we do in life is a seed that will later germinate and produce a great harvest that will eventually come back to us. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. Whatsoever a man sows, that shall he reap. As you read this book, you can move from being a vehicle that channels pain, oppression, and curses to the one that channels love, joy, and genuine concern. God bless you. This is The Ripple Effect, Kingdom Courtship Book Review, Part 1. Shalom.